Hey everybody, it's Brandalyn Gill, your favorite CEO from Illumination Literary Publishing. I'm coming to you with a very personal message today. In a couple of months, I'll be 3 years sober. And a lot of people wonder like, oh my God, how am I ever going to get off these drugs? How am I ever going to stop drinking? Let me tell you something. I was a stone cold pillhead for 11 years. One of my family members introduced me to this new drug, because I had already been doing drugs, gotten off, and was reintroduced to something called a benzodiazepine. I talk about it in my book, High Society. If you're not sure what a benzodiazepine is, it is the strongest anxiety medication. And what happens when you abuse this drug over time, your anxiety actually gets worse. So I thought that I would never get off of this drug. This drug ruined my life. I thought I was on top of the world because I was making money and I was using men and I was drinking and I had a nice car and an apartment and I barely had to pay my bills. But I didn't realize that the same thing somebody told me when I was 19 was quite true. And that is that if you take this drug, it will ruin the next 10 years of your life, and it did. If you're wondering how to be sober out there, first of all, you have to make a decision. You can't play around with it. It's not a guessing game. Do you want to be sober or not? Being sober does not mean getting that job. It doesn't mean getting back to the money. It doesn't even mean getting off the streets. It means that you are dedicated, disciplined, and accountable to everyone around you, and most often, yourself. Make a decision. If you need to move, you can do it. But realize that geographical change means nothing. You take yourself with you wherever you go. That's what my business partner, Larry Renard Carter _77 on Instagram says to me all the time. You take yourself wherever you go. If you want to be sober, you need to have some boundaries. You need to determine what you're going to deal with and what you're not going to deal with right away. When people cross those lines, you get rid of them. Your cutoff game needs to be extremely strong, because just because you're changing your life doesn't mean anybody else is changing their life with you. This is a lonely journey at first, because people want to be on drugs. They want to drink. And for you to come around and say that you don't want to drink with them and you go to the club anymore, you don't want to snort that Coke after work anymore, you're going to be lonely. And you have to be able to deal with that. What kept me sober for 3 years was that I wasn't doing it for anybody else. I was doing it for myself. I knew that if I didn't stay clean and I didn't get my life together, that I was never going to treat my daughter right after all the abuse and abandonment and neglect. I was never going to meet myself. Many of us out here are hiding from who we are. You really don't want to know who you are. You don't want to know how strong you are because it scares you. There's a movie I watched on Netflix called I Care a Lot. It said most people are scared. They're going to comply with whatever's going on with them. So that's another thing. You need to be courageous. You need to be able to stand up to your family, stand up to your friends, stand up to the haters that come along when you start getting your together. It's a long journey. It's a marathon, not a sprint. If you want to be sober, you need to realize that if you relapse, it's going to be worse than the first time, just like it was for me. And you're going to keep relapsing. Lastly, you can never quit. I don't care what happens to you on your journey. I don't care what people do to you on your journey. You don't have the option to quit, because you know that since you were on drugs and alcohol, when you quit, you're quitting on yourself. And those people that are hecklers and want you to go back and had a grave ready for you or a penitentiary bed, they're not going to give a crap. They're going to move on with their life. So you don't have the option to quit. It's not an option, and it won't be an option today, tomorrow, or anywhere if you want to stay sober. God bless on your journey. You can reach out to me at Brandalyn. I am brandalyngilltheofficial or illuminationliterary.com, and I love to talk to you about your journey for you and no one else.